data on the hospital garage and vehicle maintenance unit. This is the data on the electricity and air conditioning maintenance unit. If you are getting done from the new fixing of the new air conditioner, it's if we are going to run it from the contractor, it's 7,500 rupees, but we were able to get it done from our unit for 3,000 rupees. This is the electricity maintenance unit data. This carpentry unit, few examples. One rack, it's outside the cost is 10,500. We were able to get it done for 5,000. We could save 4,750 rupees. And this is e-health unit. We recently started e-health unit for our hospital and all the hospital networking, staff training, drawing of the network diagrams, and maintenance. All the activities we were able to get it done from the very low cost from this e-health unit. These are some photographs of this is the electrical maintenance unit. This is general maintenance unit. This is carpentry unit. This is processes production unit, which provide processes for the orthopedic patients. Water supply and maintenance unit. This is a photograph of the hospital garage, and also we have a separate vehicle service unit also. This is painting and graphic unit. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Doctor. Now we have, I think, few more minutes. Any clarification, any elaboration that you would like to have it? So, please.
The costing was done.
Yeah. The accounts department has done the cost survey. It includes labor plus the equipment and all the charges. And we have handed over to the health ministry also the data.
That means the differences inclusive of the salaries of the patient.
Yeah, salary includes.
Any more? Okay, thank you, Doctor. We move on to the next one. Okay, next one is the calendar. Calendar as a farmer decision making tool to be presented by several people here. E.G. Company, Nilushi Silva, Dr. Han Jiko, W.C.G. Kumar, Halinti. They are from the information and communication department. Okay, now I would like you to introduce yourself because there are several names over here.
Good morning, everybody. I am Yoshi Silva from Department of Agriculture. I am here to present the most important thing is the crop calendars has a farm decision making tool. During next 15 minutes, I am going to present the instruction is for 15 minutes. Outline my presentation, agriculture sector and the background of the organization, problem identification methods and the problems, objective finding our main theory crop calendar, methodology, conclusion and future work. The agriculture sector, I just brief you, 83% population out of 20.67 million engaged in agriculture sector and the 9.9 contribute to the GDP. Proud to say, face of the Department of Agriculture and all stakeholders, we are self-sufficient in rice. The department vision, Sri Lanka be self-sufficient in quality and safe food. We concern quality and the safe. You can see the screen mission, the organization structure, how we organize to achieve our mission and the organization goals. You can see in the screen. This is the other mandatory crops: rice, condiments, grain, legumes, oilseed, forest green and horticulture crops are our mandatory crops. Something wrong? The slides. So this is our objective to enhance productivity of the other field crops because now we are self-sustaining rice. The agriculture department and the ministry shaped the policy to enhance the other field crops productivity. You can see the big onion, finger millet, and the red onion chili. You are at the dining table. These are our next policy to enhance our crop productivity. Problem identification methods, reports, formal and informal discussions, observation, we identify the problem. The problem is low yield. You can see the yield of Sri Lanka always below the Asian stand, well as world stand. Can see it very clearly. So low productivity of other field crops, which is low yield cause low productivity. Then the farmer gain poor income, it's become poverty. Cause of low yield is mainly lack of timely information. Then the farmer also needs decision to make decision as well as other public sector government administration. Farmer also need to make proper decision. Then the farmer, if make poor decisions, then become poor farmer practice. It may be regarding input related or cultivation practices. Then it goes to low yield. The necessary information is farmer. Depending on the life cycle of the planting life cycle, farmer need initiative stage what to be grown and what variety to pre-grow. The cereal planting material, he need to know where I going to purchase these seeds. The planting stage, when to plant, and the growing stage, he don't know what time of organic practices, time of application of fertilizer, pest management, and the weather forecast. Then the harvesting stage, he knows packing story and the marketing or selling the marketing. The current information mechanism, dissemination system in our organization, we get the agriculture information from the research institution and various other institutes. Then it's disseminated to farmer through extension officer or mass communications. The current tools in our department, there are some strengths and weaknesses. I already mentioned farmer need information, proper information, told lack of information. So one is method is extension officer, but we have a lack of it. This is appropriate method. The strength is appropriate, but this lack of extension officers in our department. The officer have to cover 1,600 farm operators, 4.26 farm operators there, but only 1,650 agriculture instructors is working. Leaflet broker is a very store information, but low accessibility for illiterates. Poster is just illiterates, but short-term access to information. magazine and books show information, but farmer need to extra effort to learn that because he don't like it. So mobile, it provide good time information, but low access, stream computation, low access. A radio also reaches many people, but is expensive. Only one time broadcasting, only one message. A TV also good memory retention, memory attractive, but extensive one time broadcast, only one or two messages. Website also good retention, memory retention, but low access by farmers. So this is the most important slide in my presentation. In this, based on the limitations and the problem, our Director General of Agriculture to disseminate the technology timely. So he is gain the solution, make a crop calendar, design a crop calendar, and giving these messages. So what is crop calendar? Crop calendar is a tool that provides timely information about crop production. Information on planting, agronomic practicing, pest forecasting, seed rate, cost of production, weather forecast. What are the need information for him? Benefit of crop calendar, a farm decision-making tool, provide information across crop production farmers, a training tool for extension officers to farmer, guideline to purchase required input before starting cultivation. Before starting cultivation, he knows the water amount he wants. So there's a word experience. This is the crop calendar, the international rice research induced, but they only time is included here. In Sri Lanka also there are some experience, but this is not attractive, only the sequence of the cultivation practices. The methodology of this council. This concept from our Director General of Agriculture and designed by myself, we get the agronomic practices from crop leaders and the weather forecast, natural resource management center, graphic design for computers and implement our directed updates report, and this is sponsored by the Asian Food and Average Cooperative Institute, made by our press. So this is the method within the information, agronomic practices from crop leaders and the weather forecast, natural resource management center, and cost of cultivation from socio-economic and planning center. The crop leader, there are so many crop leaders, that the specialized officer who in this crop sector, and he implement all the national programs to enhance this productivity. So this is the crop calendar I always describe this. You can see we show the month September, October, November, and according to the month and the weather, we given the farmer practices. To very attractive way, because most of these farmers have low education level, so they will be attractive. This the cartoon seeds, less burdens. So this is the agrological zones pertaining. He can cultivate pest and control. We given the pest and disease forecast and the some pictures, so he can compare the pest and diseases and find out the fertilizer recommendation. How to react to drought and flood. This is the most important feature. This is the disasters. So he has given some advices to how to react for this. And the output. This is the crop calendar business. This is the farmer can hang it on the wall and he can understand what situation and what going now. So we can see the farmers are reading, and this is we want to do this. So output. 12 crop calendars for 23 types. According to these zones, we printed 270,000 copies distributed, 20,000 farm organizations benefited, agrarian service centers, schools, insurance secretariat, Mahawala irrigation department, we distributed. You can see more than 5 lakhs persons benefited. After the success of this program, the DOA cabinet project implemented to send timely information for farmers to SMEs. So we have an award from the most outstanding award from out of 11 countries. I told you Afas is the sponsor of this program. This is our director. I have awarded this. So future work, we are going to conduct a study whether we have output achieve or not the objective, enhance the productivity and another development. So conclusion, I saw the objective to enhance productivity. I show the problem, low yield, poor farm cultivation, poor decision making. For this we find to provide timely information from the COP calendar. Future we also conduct survey. One thing, this COP calendar being tied to our Sri Lanka. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And questions from the audience? What is the use of genetically modified seeds? Can you speak to the mic?
Genetically modified seed. This is the out of this topic. The modification, I know that this is some mean. This is out of this. This I'm going to explain this. Maybe something happened.
Any more questions? No? Okay, thank you. Let's move to the third presentation. It's on quality and productivity improvement program. There are also in Amhara again. Dr. Jai Singh, Dr. Prasanna, and this is my brother. May I invite? Okay.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Dr. Jason, Father. I'm presenting the quality and productivity improvement program in the Lanka. Just say about the background of the we have model of the quality and productivity center that we established in 2001. We feel more than the national award for the quality and improvement in our hospitals during last 14 years. These are the improvement awards that we received for improvement of quality and productivity, improvement in our country, and not only our purpose of objective of this program to provide the quality healthcare services to our users, to provide the productive health to the nation, and to improve the patient safety, to provide the comprehensive health services in emergencies and disasters, to minimize the wastage of resources and to provide the pleasant environment for the staff and our organization to achieve our mission and vision with minimum resources to introduce the new quality related strategies to the administrative sector. This is the program, entire program. If I explain this, we started in 2001. This is all the quality and productivity tool. We started from the 5 years in 2001. Then we went for the Kaizen program back in Change for Better. That Japanese word in 2002. Then we introduced the productivity tools to our hospital in 2005. And quality tools we introduced also in 2005, the same year with some tools of total quality management. In 2010, we received the certificate for ISO for the service. And green productivity concept we introduced in the hospital in 2007. And since 2014, we received the certificate for environmental environmental activities. That means we received the certificate for ISO 14001 2004. This is the entire program, but we have the quality policy and the environmental policy. We run this program through the quality circles in the hospital. We have separate quality management unit to monitor all the entire program in the hospital. But we are giving knowledge to the outside of the health sector, even for the administrative sector and the agricultural sector, and with our sharing the experience. This is the finding that after the implementation of quality and productive program, these are the indicators we have significantly improved. Maternal mortality rate has been the death of the mother during last 4 years, not to go more than 4, I think 5 years, we have the MMR rate in the 0, and we reduce the infant mortality rate and the neonatal mortality rate, hospital acquired infection rate, post-operating infection rate, and the customer satisfaction indicators we improve, reduction of the patient taking time and the common facilities for our clients in the hospital. This is our mission of our hospital. We are looking for the training of national and global research for productivity and quality. These are some pictures I can show you. Before starting the front gate and after the program, some compared program. This is the wall before starting the program, the condition of that. Now after this was a pediatric ward. These are the washing area before and after. This was the washing area. This was the washing area. This is the toilet before and after. These are the unit sugar and waste collection point. These are the waste burning points. We have to open them. Now we have to create the after program. These are the record books. We are using now color code to find out the things and other documents immediately. This is the traffic stop before and after this particular program. This is the picture. Those days we used the firewood. Now we are using the gas. This is the virus and those conditions. This is the environment before. This was a public in the environment. This is the internal road system before. And this is the dumping area. We have 18 dumping areas before starting this. Now we have only one dumping area. These are the dumping areas now in the Lanka. This was the backyard of the kitchen before that. This is outside of the walls. This is the storage system before. We had open storage. Now we have system and purify and release this. Then we are doing the research for the theory. These are certain processes. We started after that finding out this all the shortcomings and we started from we construct the revenue store. These are the regulation of documentation. After this program, we are using the 5 EHP. These are the different colors. These are data collection. We started to do the feasibility study. This is the document. We have given the ISO number and checklist and our format. This is all our format. That format, we didn't have that documentation before that. We all documented this all. This application has the document. This is the present condition of the hospital after all the program. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Any questions or clarification from presentation? No. Thank you. Next presentation is on review and modification of the administrative structure and procedures to involve the EU fish export ban. We are moving to a regular sector now. So this will be presented by NDP Guruvardhan, Assistant Director, and MCL Financial Assistant Director General, Department of Fisheries and Resources Development. May I invite?
Thank you. I'm NDP Guruvardhan from Fisheries. I'm for DG. And you may have heard this EU ban scenario. So I'm going to tell the story, the way we done it. Yeah, and the slides, change of the slideshow as well. And some may have known the reason behind the fishing ban. There's a theory called responsible fisheries. This was introduced by several scientists. One is Daniel Foley. The idea is there are illegal fisheries, but to manage the fisheries in world scale, the illegal concept is not enough because most of the management criteria, management theories were not successful until 2010 or even before that. They found that by 2048, far away, if you continue this trend of fisheries management, we are going to lose each and every fisheries by 2048. Because of few reasons. That concept of illegal management of illegal fisheries is not enough. Because people get, people having information, they are having decision to manage the fisheries based on the information. So people like Daniel Foley stress that because of the wrong data by the fishermen and also the authorities, these management decisions are not successful. So the concept of including illegal fisheries with non-reporting fisheries, non-reporting fisheries also a sort of illegal thing, and to lie this concept with the government systems, the regulation has to be fully implemented in such a way that data submission is also has to be efficient and correct. So this IU concept is there. IU means illegal, unreporting, and also the unregulated. So as a country or as a management body, not only the illegal fisheries, but also these scenarios with unreporting and unregulation will also be managed. So EU fish ban is come as a result of people believing that Sri Lanka is not doing these concepts. Yeah, all right in the EU, illegal thing, but we are not reporting it. We are not regulating the system. So that in that scenario, you stress that Sri Lanka do not apply with these regulations concepts. One is UN fish and law of the sea. And if you have code of conduct for responsible fishing, this is the most important one. That FAO has come up with a document that each and every fisheries authorities should comply with this. Although it is a code of conduct, EU countries like EU is to control the trade, and they come up with regulations such as EU regulations on trade, and IOTC, the Indian Ocean Commission, is the regional body who manage the fisheries in the Indian Ocean, and they are and also the port state measure. Port state means if a country gives support of other countries to land the fish, there are some procedures to be complied. So these regulation and the resolutions has to be followed by each and every country to doing the fisheries management. And there are some campaigns to highlight this. Such campaign is the film called End of the Line. This was the award-winning film, and push EU authorities to really focus on IUU when they are buying fish from other countries. So this initiate bans like the one they imposed to Sri Lanka to stop IUU fishing as a consumer. They will not buy your products if you are not complying with IUU requirements. So the IUU responsibility is not with the fishermen, but with the government and also the authorities of fisheries management. And that was measured by the compliance rate. As you can see in Sri Lanka, compliance rate it is not moved up until 2014. So out of 100, we are only having 30 by 2012. And based on that, EU forced us to enhance our management theories and management process. They provide us with a yellow card. This is like a soccer thing. You get the yellow card, you have to behave good, otherwise you'll be punished with the red card. Likewise, you have to behave good. Until 2014, we had 3 years as a government, as a fisherman, as a city sector, as a department. We are not required to have these procedures in place. So the EU fish ban came, red card in 2015. Several pointy fingers to the department. We should initiate the proceedings to overcome the fish ban. And before the ban, there's a nice document prepared by the department. Everything is in place. This document, but these things mentioned in this document are not implemented in the grassroots level. So that was the issue. So as a result, EU coming up with document mentioning 17 shortcomings of our management structure. And reports published, there are a number of articles. One such article mentioned Sri Lanka as the state responsible fish development. So this is really heartbreaking and hurting us. So the department is in the mission of regaining the right and also work in the EU. This is the financial aspect. As you can see, after the EU ban, the export of this product is decreased in significant way. This is in rupees dollars million. We are having about 104 rupees million export before the EU ban. After the EU ban in 2015, we only had 26 million rupees as the income. So we had the 17 shortcomings with us, and to overcome that, there's a roadmap with 57 tasks, 21 continuous tasks that has to be repeatedly achieved, and 36 with deadline. So in this contest, we assume, we focus to EU as a customer, has to be retail, other than government. So we had this as a customer supply relationship. So to do that, this is the scope of government and skills. So first we did a SWOT to the department. So there are strengths, weaknesses, and also the threats and opportunities as well. So the co-management should be the only available tool with us. So to do that, all concerned bodies were gathered in financial shopping by meeting. There's a meeting, second meeting. All the stakeholders that people can get help from were there. Even the EU ambassador is part of that. The Prime Minister also participated in a number of meetings where department needs a sort of high level attention and care. And in the department, the grassroots level implementation, the people who worked in the private sector before were chosen from the department and a unit is established. This unit is 24/7 working unit. They got clearly defined job description and a number of awareness and training so given. The new officers were established at 12 main harbors, and people will not work until they are having sort of motivation. So half of the salary on basic schools here with the concern of the treasury. Whichever they were protesting against the department before the UN, and then there should be a way of getting their concern as well. So co-management is again the tool with us. They have several awareness programs, several poster campaigns. We attract participant booklets in a simple language and photos. There are a number of activities.
You are more waiting for the group.
These are the examples. And after 8 months, as you know, the time is limited, and you know the rest. This is just comparison of what we had and what we are now having. The legal is there are several enhancements. And there's a system called EMS, new satellite-based IT system, introduced for the manual system. Previously, the manual system has a logbook data system. And also on board, our officer has to be on board in each and every trip. So that's I mentioned. And IPS reporting, as you know, the ranking of 13% is now 75%. And HR issues will also go up. Getting a finance person. And as I mentioned, the stakeholders who are involved in the decision making, our staff. And I'm still these are the media publications of the event. What I would tell is there's the idea of we can't do things like as a government sector, we can't do things like private sector, but I want to tell you that it is possible if we are motivated them properly and also provide them with the better working environment. So I'm concluding my presentation.
Okay. Any questions? Comment on the presentation? No questions? No comment? I think it's a wonderful presentation. I don't know that's why I think we wanted more time to elaborate. I know that, but anyway, if you have no questions, we move on to next one. Before that,
now your presentations are online live. Class is there. www.sida.lk. Presenters can tell your friends, your family members to watch from any part of the world. Right? www.sida.lk. Symposium. Right hand side, Symposium website is there. Just click that. There is a I will link both together. So you can tell your presenters who have not presented to come watch and see your presentation.
and this time we will go.
No one is now. Everyone can see.
Okay. Let's move to the final presentation, which is on rethinking of fisheries management in Sri Lanka, changing role of the government for influencers. Again by NGP Kunal, the national director, and Director General MC and Finance. Thank you.
Good morning to all of you. And this presentation is also regarding fisheries. And this paper actually basically has been done with the director of the fisheries department, and as you know, the previous system. And I am Ravindra from ITDG Intermediate Technology Development. So, coming to the objectives, there are basically two objectives of this presentation. The One is lessons of practicing collaborative fisheries governance to manage brackish water fisheries. So brackish water fisheries means actually lagoons and estuarine fisheries. I suppose that all of you may have seen lagoons and estuaries in all fisheries. And the second point that I want to get across is strategy executed to increase the efficiency, effectiveness, and coordination of fisheries governance processes for better service delivery. As small as it may be here. So this presentation mainly targets at how and what sort of efforts have you made, to increase the efficiency and the coordination for service delivery in terms of just governance. So why governing brackish water fisheries? So you may have thought now the previous presentation was about marine fisheries. So why do we actually need to govern brackish water fisheries? Because now lagoons and estuaries, now fisheries is a basic, it's a natural phenomenon because the commercially important species, the species that we love to eat, tuna, marine or billfish, they are all migratory species. So they come to Sri Lankan waters because there are lagoons, because lagoons and estuaries are food factories that ensure the efficiency of food web in the marine coastal fishery. So this you might have known given tsunami and other disasters. So one of the best ecotones you can see in Sri Lanka. And Sri Lanka is the only country in South Asia you can see ecotone. And lagoons and estuaries support the coastal biodiversity, which again ensures the food production in the food web. Then works as a flood barrier for disasters such as cyclone and storms, and traps sediments and filter water and clean water. People who might have worked in Amaradu would have noticed that damages to the lagoons caused loss of drinking water, and that led to kidney issues. And filter for salinity, you might have seen the damages to levels and estuaries caused saline intrusion into land, causing leaving the valley lands. Small scale fishery livelihoods is most important. There are about 500,000 lagoon fishery families, artisanal, small scale, and they are totally dependent on lagoon fisheries ecosystems. And commercially important fish species like prawns and crabs. So they are from brackish water fisheries. So now this new word, actually the governance word is catching on in Sri Lanka. So this is also related to governance, but we have sort of an adjective we call it collaborative governance. So rationale for collaborative governance. What's the rationale for collaborative governance? So let's look at now all the society system. Let's say in each lagoon there are two systems. One is human system, fishers and other users and stakeholders who have a stake or who are depending on the ecosystems for lives. The second is natural system. Let's say lagoon Chilawan as an example. So this we call system to be governed. This is a system that we are going to talk about introducing governance to management. Then we have governance system, which we call principles, values, instruments, legal instruments, tools, and then you have governing interactions. This is the most important thing. When you look at governing interactions in Sri Lanka, what happens is governing interactions in the current context. There are, I think, divisional secretaries and district secretaries, so we have known this. There are village level, divisional level, district level, provincial level, national level in Sri Lanka. And there's no coordination. I mean, I would say that there's zero coordination, but there are issues, there are problems, or there are issues with efficiency, effectiveness in regards to coordination between these levels. But it's important to look at the decisions that are made in these levels. The first is village level, there are collective decisions. And district and division level, there are operational decisions. And from policy, from provincial level, national policy region, and the constitution. Often, there's a lot of what we call the coordination, the interactions are very poor among these levels. So that has resulted in conflicts, resulted in coming up, different portfolios. So, repercussions as far as the brackish water fishery is concerned. So, this presentation is all mainly focusing on brackish water. Repercussions: damages to the ecosystems, the good mouths, canal system, and flora, clashes of different acts and legislations, uncoordinated development interventions, unhealthy tourism practices, waste dumping ground, and finally leading to loss of fisheries values. Accordingly, in Sri Lanka, there have been 4 management practices. One is no management, that means open access, and the second one was state management, which only involved policy and constitutional relations. Third one is community-based fisheries management, which involved collective relations only. And the fourth one was co-management, which involved collective and operational relations. This refers to the previous slide I just did. So let's little bit further analyze and see. So community-based fisheries management means here, this is only involved village. And co-management means here, which involved operational collective. So something needs to be done if you want to increase the efficiency, because constitutional policy decisions is a way that we can involve them, but what can be done to what we call include them in this process. So accordingly, all the institutional structure for governing lagoon ecosystem is Sri Lanka. We have lagoon fisheries management state level, then lagoon fisheries management authorities division level, and district fisheries coordination committee at district level, very function, and national fisheries coordination committee. So you can see, on one hand this is too hierarchical, on the other hand there is no communication. This is too hierarchical. It's a very hierarchical driven system. So given this, all 4 types of fisheries management practices Sri Lanka failure were accepted, because none of them involve all decision-making levels coming together and making decisions interacting with each other for efficient service delivery. So what is the change the fisheries department has done? What is the change the fisheries department has done? So the change is this new concept, fisheries co-governance concept, as mentioned in the Fisheries Act amendment. You might have seen the newest amendment. So how this works? So you are looking at this hierarchical model. So everybody comes to a committee called Co-Coordination of Co-Governance Committee, and all levels come to this particular committee from bottom to top. One middle level committee which is legally decentralized. Why this is legally decentralized? Because location-specific regulation. I mean, this particular committee, this particular act makes provisions for this particular committee to make location-specific regulations relevant. Why location-specific regulations? Because need for a governance system that better matches the nature of the system. So let me think other way around. The nature of the solution depends on the nature of the problem. So lagoons and issuing systems are very dynamic, and so people who are dependent on them. So that we can't have a blueprint of rules and regulations, having implemented each. So given that, if you develop a system, let's say this is the system to be governed a lagoon. If you develop, a governance system like this, it's not going to govern it. That's why it has to be location-specific regulations. So it has to be something like this that will drive the system. To sum up, which is governance for lagoon ecosystem Sri Lanka is a concept that legally decentralized and guide the 4 levels of decision making with principles and values on social and environmental, economic and political authority over the exploitation of lagoon ecosystem by means of an interactive collaborative system. Challenges. How to ensure efficiency? Now we have this act. Can this act and legislation alone make this happen? Can this, regulations alone make this? Something is missing in the link. How to ensure efficiency, effectiveness, sustainability, and quality assurance. Continuous learning is very important. Of each institution. So steps involved. So I'll skip this. addressing challenge, there has to be an agency. So this was set up here. This is known as Rakesh to facilitate this process. This is a different model in the government setup, which is very different because this agency talks about facilitation. Facilitation means to make setting up and implementing of the governance experience setup easy and easy. It's different. It's all about facilitation. So this particular institution ensures the efficiency, effectiveness, sustainability, and continuous learning of this act and how this act should be implemented. And this is mainly because this system is dynamic. So if the system is dynamic, there has to be something which facilitates change. So looking at the decentralized socialist governance model, there is a facilitating person. So we have government leadership, we have community leadership, and this is the co-governance committee, which was highlighted in the amendment. And there's practice for the management unit, which facilitate, coordinate, and troubleshoot. So this is all unit now, which is in the place in the department. So this results in live development, conservation, management. So going results, very quickly 3 slides. One is, this has already been demonstrated in 18 levels in Sri Lanka. So northern province, eastern province, and the southern province and eastern province. And now there's an overall good plan. Can somebody tell me how many levels are in Sri Lanka? So now you can see the department has produced a map which maps out all legislations in Sri Lanka. So you can see. And finally, lagoons are in approach. This is one of the challenges, and always lagoons are in approach due to tourism or whatever. So now there's a system in place with this. The place is the GPS points are obtained on the lagoons. The points are specific, unlike the concrete points which moves towards lagoon. The points are not moved, so legal action can be taken because the boundary is not specific. So these are some of the growing, results of this process. Yeah, so that's it. So we have the Director General of the Department. If you have any questions, he's also here. And if you have any findings, I would like to ask.
Okay, thank you. And now the floor is open for question. And okay, what we have
How do you control the pollution of lagoons?
Oh, sorry.
Pollution of lagoons.
Yeah, pollution of the lagoons is a challenge. So that's why now the problem with pollution is actually one is what you call the enforcement is not in place. The other one is there's no alternative for pollution. So there are 2 things. So these committees now, the innovative planning. Now, for example, now when it comes to enforcement, the Central Environment Authority or the environment they say, okay, we try to do that, but there's no mechanism. But this particular committee, so they can have implementing and enforcing it. And also, this committee now, for example, if you look at Kokal, how they do this, actually they try to call for other non-government organizations, those who have funding, and try to set up alternatives for what you call waste. And also now, for example, housing in this private company, so they have come into place because this is all about interactions. So the beauty of this model is everybody gets together, interact, and try to find solutions. So this is not a kind of a model where I can give you solutions, but these people they look at the location-specific problems, so they interact, so they innovate, they develop the solutions.
any more questions?
Yes. The monitoring system is actually carried out by Rakesh Management Division, which was established in December last year. So that's why this division is facilitating means actually they are the people who go and push this work going, they facilitate it, and if there's a problem, then they monitor it. And monitoring is actually now when the committees draft their own plan. So they have indicators. It's a kind of a plan for that particular location. So they have indicators. So the indicators are monitored by that particular committee, and also brackish manipulation. And the plan is actually the department to have everything online with GIS, so that somebody goes to Google Earth, they try to Lagoon and go there, okay, this is a management plan, this is a governance plan, this is what is happening, these are the issues, so can we do this, something like this. It's going to be interactive and online platform too.
So what type of action are taken for the sustainability of these?
Sustainability of what? About this model? Yeah. One factor is there's a legal instrument in place which is legally decentralized, which involves all relevant stakeholders for a particular committee to come together and come up with their own rules and regulations. So we have the General Municipal Act, and also they have specific rules and regulations for that particular level. And the rules, yeah.
You can mention about the GS.
So why?
You can mention about the GS responsibilities.
Yeah, GA is responsible. And actually, GA is the co-chairman of this particular committee. And so the what? Yeah. So they can come up with their own regulation. That becomes a long Sri Lanka. The regulation rules and regulations for one lagoon would not be the rules and regulations for the very long. That's one. The second factor is there's an agency institution in place now, which would function very differently from other government institutions, facilitating role. Somebody very quick to attend and go there and taking it out, making the whole process to move easier. It's not very process oriented. It's not very what do you call system oriented, but to make the work go.
Okay, now we have concluded all the presentations. We have two panels. On my left, we have Dr. Sipali Ratina, External Treasurer of SLIDA. On my right, I have Shivali, Senior Consultant SLIDA. Let me first invite Dr. Sipali to make us.
Thank you, Mr. Amity. So I think all the papers presented to me excellent. Because of the time limitation, I guess you have certain limitations of explaining what you have done. So if you have given half an hour, I believe the sharing information, there would be up to the top level, right? So I think within the given time period, and also some of the papers, the research, the writers, they have not given enough information. So after listening to you and also after reading all this information, we have an idea. This is my idea of your presentations. But as I said, all excellent and beyond expected level as well. And regarding the first one on the Ampara General Hospital of the separate maintenance unit concept, because we are looking for innovativeness, process improvement, feasibility of commonly how it can adopt to the operational level, but you have introduced, and also the leadership of this particular system and results achieved. Right? So as I said, I'm considering what I have heard and what you have given in a written document. So with regard to the first one, introduction of separate maintenance unit concept of the Ampara General Hospital, I found that's an innovative. It's innovative. That's different from the other units and hospitals. And also, there is a process that you have introduced. And it has very easily, because it's more on, it's a very simple concept. right? So when we talk about in general, we say the model, it doesn't have to be really complex to be excellent. Simple concepts are excellent all the time because that's how you can, get the ordinary people and the grassroots people involved. So therefore, I think this has a strength with feasibility of common adaptation. And you were talking, we didn't talk much on the leadership involvement, but there is a result achieved. And with regard to the crop calendar, that's amazing, right? It's really a innovative way of touching the work of the grassroots level people. Yeah, you have shown as the, whatever the result that you have achieved, you didn't explain. But I think you have a result, but as a product, you have introduced a calendar. This is what you have explained. So then I don't have much information of the, the final, the result. That's the result. That's the result of the calendar. So for the calendar, preparing the calendar also, I think you have touched the grassroots level of people. With pictures and all, I think that's an excellent product. And it's innovative as a result. You have changed the process and you have strong leadership for that. And also, as a product, you have designed a crop calendar which will be really helpful to the grassroots level, the ordinary people. That's excellent. With regard to the quality and productivity improvement program of the General Hospital Ankara, I think that is also an innovative idea. But only thing is, you have not given much information in the paper. You have given that, a little bit of introduction to the concept. So then the paper doesn't give us much information, and it identify, you try to highlight the awards that you have received. So since you have received several awards, this has to be an excellent one. But unfortunately, they get much information of the process since you didn't explain much. But this has to be a very good one. And you have the objectives. And as a result, as a result of your involvement, and you are maintaining a very high level of customer satisfaction. I think that has to be the service quality, because if you can maintain a higher level of customer satisfaction, that means you are maintaining a quality service. And also the next one on the significant modifications of the administrative structure. I think that is also, this is really a new thing, because as you said, laws doesn't work out. Rules and laws and all the systems doesn't work out in a particular context where you need to be more localized when it's come to the work. This is what we lack in our system when it's come to the reforms. We try to adopt all the things as it is without thinking of our own grounds. I think this is very innovative in that sense, because you have operationalized this. You have a different approach of addressing to this problem, in addressing to the problem that you have pretty well identified what will happen in future if you don't intervene. So in that sense, this is also an excellent product, right? So then, but we are looking from innovativeness, and as I said at the very beginning, these are all equally very unique, where we find a lot of difficulties in differentiating under different categories. And final one on rethinking, right? That shows it's innovative, right? Rethinking of fisheries management in Sri Lanka. That's again, it's a changing role of government for effective services. I think this is a best practice for most of the government, services. That's decentralization, that's people's participation, And that's more on from the policy perspective, that's the bottom-up approach when it's come to the policy decision, which is the strongest approach. So there you talk about and how you have used the decentralization approach and the bottom-up approach in addressing to this issue. I think that is also very innovative, and how you have coordinated, facilitated in implementing this particular government decision, which is the policy decision. So with all this, as I told you, very innovative, and we are high, I mean, these are high, this is again beyond the expected level, all these papers, right? So I'm really happy about all these papers. As I said, it's very difficult to differentiate, but we have to do that, right? So that's it, and I wish you all the best. And on behalf of the panel members, we are really happy about your presentations. Thank you very much. Over to the chairperson.
Thank you, Dr. Devani. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Salia to make his comment on the presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Come to the topics that you have discussed. Basically you would address the more sensitive problems people face or citizens face. So you try to find out good strategies to solve most of the problems in fishery sector, hospital sector. We are very much sensitive areas. When you talk about the strategy, so and evaluation strategy, I think the most important thing, the feasibility and suitability and acceptability. So when you take these 5 papers, what I have seen, both are very sensitive and you all address to some extent as a policy, and I'm very happily with these presentations. But come to the conclusion, taking all these things, all the 5. So what I have seen, all of you have not quantified the citizens score, how the citizens score these products, what they say about these things. So in that sense, I think if you have elaborated more how people look your presentation, how they score the presentations, that's much more better to understand. Very first, I was in a little bit ambiguity of how to come to the conclusion, but after your presentations, I think we can come to up to certain level the conclusions regarding to what extent this can be implementable for the benefits of citizens. So I agree totally with the Dr. Sudhasingha's comments, and without taking much time, what I can at last say, so all of your presentations are very important, and I think it can be implementable if you have a good mechanism. So entirely depend on how you prepare a mechanism to implement those models. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Salia. And we have come to an end of a kind of a very valuable exercise. I'm also so glad to listen to you, although it was my role to make comment on the presentation because I have to chair and I have to lead the discussion. I'm so happy to see that something is happening in the public sector. Right? We are talking about, I think, even at the inaugural session, we have heard that public sector reforms are important. You have to look at from different perspectives. It said that PPP, public sector, private sector partnership, etc. Then, of course, a new way of looking at things are wonderful things. But anyway, I think something is happening that's really, I think, appreciative. I really like to listen to that because I have been involved in the public administration reform over the last, I would say, 2 decades. Even now I am in the public sector, I have retired long ago. Still I am active in the public sector. I'm so happy And also, I wish to thank all the presenters. I think presentations are very brief, as Professor Tilakasiri said at the inaugural session, that this is not going to be an academic exercise, but I saw some papers are somewhat academic. I see that academic touch also there. I don't say that. I think you can, if you want to make it academic, you can improve on that also. There is no problem at such. A good, I think, beginning, I would say, and more, because being in the public sector, the more research oriented rather than academic oriented. And you can say that it's up to the university people, academic, but I better to have a combination, academic plus practical aspect. In that sense, I think you all have done well. So I would like to thank all the presenters. I think you have taken your time to do the work and also tell the people that this is what we have done. That's great. And also participant, but I expected more from the participant. It's going to be a live discussion, because we have given time about 25 minutes after each presentation, 5 minutes for discussion. But I don't think that you have made use of that opportunity. It's up to you anyway. And also panelists, they have done that job. Dr. Sepali and Mr. Sari over here, they did that, and they patiently listened to you all and make their valuable comment. And also, finally, I would like to thank our DG, Professor Tilakasiri, and the team. They are the people, they are the people, they are sitting over here. For this new beginning, I would say that it's a new beginning to have a symposium on a different line of thinking, not the academic line of thinking, but more practical line of thinking. See the value of such presentation, what you have been doing in the field, department, ministries, etc. So I'm so happy because SLIDA is also part of our life. Because I've been here as a consultant, as a director, as a secretary on the side. Because in that sense, I would like to see some innovations throughout. So the good start. I think let me congratulate DG and the team for the excellent job they have done. And also finally, I would like to thank all of you for being here, participating, presenting. Thank you very much. Yeah, you all have to be, I think, in the afternoon, you have to assemble at the auditorium for, I think, I don't know, closing session. Make sure that you will be there at the auditorium at that time. Thank you. Same.